All praises Kemba Kimana Tatanzambi Yamazulu, King Fumo Kyakuisa, and Zambi Moesha and Zambi Okabenisha. I'm not going to really be doing any music today. This is going to be a short video, or it's trying to be a short video. I started recording and I had an issue and I had to restart, so I apologize. Um, Kemba Hallelujah, Bayete and Kosi. Um, Today I'm going to talk about Betuabu, Tinamavimpi, and Tanzania Pungu. So, people, Ubuntu, we are here. And as I was saying, um, before I had to kind of run into I had a technical issue. This is one of the reasons why I was trying to share with people why you got to be careful who you're trusting out here, what you're believing, what you think you know, because like the Most High has always said it, he did it before, he already did it. Okay? There's so much of a deception that is playing out in front of your very eyes that people don't even know how far this goes. Okay? Because I'm going to get into the scriptures that talk about when the dragon was waiting. Okay? And what you don't understand is that means everything we're doing now, he was already preparing for with his adversaries. Okay? With his allies, with all the people that are really working behind the scenes, those who are conditioned. Like I said, people are going to think you're crazy, and we've been talking about this, but this world is not real, according to what you think. When the Most High says, I shall send thee a strong delusion, he controls the matrix, not Lucifer. He controls the matrix, meaning what you choose to believe will become your reality. And I'm talking, you believe a lot of lies that have now become your reality. Okay? So what I'm going to get into is I'm going to show you how much you're being played by the current narrative of so many people that are not honest about everything was about the chosen from the beginning. And I mean, everything was about the chosen. And everything is about how these fallen angels have played every civilization for a fool because they transitioned things to the way that was going in the direction of how things were supposed to play out according to the scriptures. But at the same time, I'm telling you, you're going to find this out. Okay. They coded it years ago. You know, I told people this mission was given to me in the 90s. When the Father talks about people impeding his workers, those who have a job to do, many of us have been impeded by many people who are working against us to give people the information they needed to actually receive the real salvation from the hypocrisy they have been preaching. Because, like I told people, they have foresight. And they quoted this also in movies where they said judgment is undeniable. So they've been showing you that there are individuals that have always been targeted for elimination because the chosen are the enemy. Everybody else is just cattle. And the point is, they did not want anyone to receive any inheritance but make you think you did. Okay. So their job, like I told you, that was put in place was to eliminate anyone that would replace the king that they put in charge under Herod. And what they have done is they have given you two narratives about the real Messiah and the false Messiah through Hollywood, through the Bible, through various different teachings and those who have been conditioned, and it's all done through, they know it's Sodom and Gomorrah, people. It's all been done through these false gods playing both sides, conditioning people through many sexual immoral acts throughout history. And I mean a lot. Okay. This is why the Most High said, when the Messiah said, I will give time for you to repent, but then the time has to come to an end. Okay. So let me share my screen. I'm going to take you to Revelation. Okay. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her a crowd of 12 stars. You need to understand this is the 12 tribes, 12 kingdoms, really. Okay? This is the Most High's wife. This is really the church. Okay? Now, when she was been child and traveling birth and pain to be delivered, we know she brought forth, now for those who have revealed it, the child of Revelation 12 in 1918. But many people have been quoting this throughout history because they understood the things that were coming in the future, that they wanted to create interference on who this person is. So they've caught many things incorrectly, that it was not, that it was a spiritual person and not a physical person that manifested. And that's a lie. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great dragon having heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. These are the 7 kingdoms and seven crowns and 10 kingdoms that are mentioned in Revelation 17. This is what Lucifer's kingdom is, period. Okay? You have the 7 kingdoms that go back to the flood, and then you have the 2 different kingdoms that were split, that were going on before the flood with Kesha, Cain's kingdom, that they have covered up because they know the Most High, and the horns stand for each kingdom of Cain when he was marked with the Most High's mark. And we now understand from the hidden scriptures he was given the dog. Wolves and evolution is garbage. This all comes from Cain, but so is religion. Okay? The Most High never created a religion. Cain did. Okay? So it says his tail threw a third of the stars. These are sorry. These are the angels with halos, and they can look like anybody. Okay? The Most High kingdom don't have halos. So this is why we're living in a delusion. All right? So the whole concept is he was waiting, meaning he was planning. He was already in the process of wanting to eliminate any potential means of this child bringing salvation to the people. Okay? Or teaching the truth. All right? Now, as she brought forth the file, okay, it was caught up to the throne, meaning he was invincible. The woman fled into the wilderness. Now, here's where you have been misled because they know the third secret of Fatima was tied to this event, and it happened in Angola, and they covered that up because where the woman fled into the wilderness is in the where we see it now, what's going on today in the conflict. The wilderness that we fled into is where the Most High center is, and where they really crucified Masenesi, Mfumayisu. Okay? All right. So this time frame, this is why things were created in the time frame, because it says that she was there for 203 score days. Three score means 30 plus 200. Okay, 230 days. All right. After she gave birth to Toko, which would have been in February 2018. Now, she fled into the Congo. This is why you're going to find out when we talk about flooding, we talk about rivers flooding, many floods happening around this time because he was trying to devour this woman. Okay? Now, there was a whore in heaven, Michael, and the angels that fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought his angels and prevailed not. This is the war we talk about that's going on in the second and third heavens that has been discussed by other people, that you are not understanding there's a war happening that they're fighting. This is where you really get your Star Wars from. Because like the Most High did, he made the angels, the fallen angels, people fight against each other. Okay? And like I told people, be careful with these Anunnaki watchers. They're spiritual beings. They do not manifest in the flesh unless they come through you as a person. And this is why the devil deceives the whole world. Okay? Now it talks about the fact that it says salvation has come. This is why I try to tell people you don't understand the deception that is transpiring because Kimbangu prophesied after Toko was born. There's no way he caused him to go to prison because he was only 3 years old, for one. Kimbangu was born in 1887. Toko was born in 1918. And I don't remember when Potty was born, unfortunately. But the three Simons, okay? And of course, you had another brother named Matsu, as we learned, and some other people who started to talk about these things about when the Most High poured out his spirit on all flesh again. Okay? He poured out his spirit on all flesh, and this is why they had to start interfering. Okay, World War I was going on at the time. That was not what people think. This was the whole purpose of the dragon preparing for against the war. That's why we go back to when even the foundation, when the Knights Templar became the Freemasons, and the date is okay, June 24th, 1717. All right. Why is this significant? Because that is supposed to be the date that they claim that Kepa, not Peter, Peter is the sorcerer, was killed by the Romans, which ironically is called St. John's Day, which is weird because Ioanne, his real name, John, is connected to a different individual totally, a so-called saint, according to what they have, they have put these names out there. Even it's, like I said, it's ironic that my mother was born on an island that has this name. My grandfather was in charge of it, and because I'm adopted into this family, but his ancestors defeated the Dutch. Yeah, you think that the Most High didn't have something to do with that? You're gonna find out how people have been deceived. Okay, so now this is the lie. This is the huge lie. Like we talk about, there's a reason why. We have San Salvador in in Angola, and then you have a San Salvador in El Salvador. The reason being is it's tied to two different things that are not being talked about. Okay? Because when the Spanish, okay, came into this region, all right, they had all of this land here was Spain. Green is Portugal. Primarily, this gray land here was between the Dutch, the French, and the British. Okay, remember at this time the United States was only 13 states in the 1790s. They did not own all of this here. Okay, Spain was technically given most of the Americas. Portugal was given a portion of this because their ties to what was going on in Africa. Because the Catholic Church was against the Protestant Reformation, so this was a punishment that those who were loyal to the Catholic Church, they got the majority of the territories. That's why the other people had to fight for what they got. The French was split because it was between Catholicism and Protestantism. So those that benefited were the Catholics that were French. Those who were not that benefited were the Protestants had to fight for it to get it. But as a punishment, that's why you think Rome left Rome. No, you didn't. Okay, because here, as you see what's transpiring, all of this Tory territory is technically the property of an Egyptian god. This is what was or given to like the Moors talk about. We were given this land from the pharaohs. It's like, yeah, because it goes back to Cleopatra and many of those things. Okay, but then Rome claimed to be in possession as they transferred that Egyptian power to Rome, which is why Rome is filled with Egyptian symbolism, and they cover this up because they know that they never converted away from the Egyptian god name changes and image changes because they used to be black. Okay, that even goes back to the Greeks where these false gods just keep reinventing themselves around the world because they're all the same. But you keep making more of them through the spiritual realm of doing the Most High's phonic, of doing wickedry. This is what they know. Okay. But now, when you look at when Spain, okay, Spain outlawed slavery, enslavement of natives in the Spanish Empire in the 1540s. So now you see here, as you're looking at all this territory that's going on, even if you go to Africa where you have colonization, and I try to get a map pulled up. Of course, they're fighting me with it. Hopefully, this is the map that I need. I try to get it sooner, better. Okay. You see all these maps here that show you um, the way things were broken up. Okay. Even in the 1600s. Okay. You don't really have much. Okay. You even see the ocean was Ethiopicus, meaning Ethiopia. It wasn't even called the Atlantic Ocean then. Okay. So you have all of these names. All right. Here's Barbaria. Yeah. Because the Canaanites know where they ran. They were down here. Okay. This here, I cannot catch the name. This was not called South Africa back then. Then you have the Congo, Benin. Okay. This is all see, Mari Atlan. Remember what we talked about, the king? Named King Atlan. We're trying to tell you, pray to Dagon, people. I told you how Libya, at that time, Libya Interior is named after the wife of Nero. Okay? Abana was born over here, as you will soon find out. All right? Or Abraham. And they know it. So you even see where they're already talking about sea monsters in the drawings that tells you this is Atlantis. Okay? You see this in the pictures, the sea monsters. that they think people say they fake. No, it's stupid cracking. Okay, so you have Nubia up here. So the Banabeto of Isolele, sub-Saharan Africa, was primarily the Most High's land. We had connections to up here. Okay. Now, just to kind of give you an idea of how deceived you are, if you can, let me see if I can make it bigger. All right. Tripoli, see, Tyrs. Now you have a Solomon here. This is the decoy, of course, we talked about this, okay? That they knew that this is the place that was set up by the Turks, claiming at that time this was the Holy Land, but they knew that the real temple was in this region here, okay? And they know they crucified him down here. They're just not going to tell you that because this was this was the original name of Cameroon. Yaoundé, that's why Yaoundé, the capital, was here. Okay. They have it upside down. This was the Northern Kingdom. This is the Southern Kingdom because the Nile River runs south. It runs down, not this way. It goes that way. Okay. All right. So now, when you go to what happened here and how they know that there's a big, huge deception, 1492 is a lie. I mean, not just 1492, but 1619 is a lie because the Most High's chosen people started to be dispersed throughout this region here first before we ended up here. Okay? And they know it because the Belgians are the ones who understood, not the Belgians, but the Portuguese are the ones that know that when they went to the Congo de Totala, they went back and reported to Pope Innocent, we have found the people of the book. And they said, we don't care. We want them to know what we want. But then they already knew this because the hard deception was they knew that there were black Jews in Europe already during the Spanish and Portuguese Inquisition. And I said, many of them were connected to Knights Templar connections. And the Moors technically themselves were still two sides of the same coin, worship a pagan god, but they knew more about the black side than the white side. And that's why the whole Renaissance period was to erase the fact that they knew the majority of the world at the time was also dark skinned. They knew the Most High was a dark skinned God, and they knew the Messiah was dark skinned. And they started to change these things because they needed to fulfill the blessing of Esau, where he would use his curse and Cain's and Nimrod's curse backwards, okay, to enslave and conquer the world of the other 70 tribes to be under his rule and not his brother's kingdom, which he was already fighting for from 30 AD up until the 1400s. Okay. So now, when we see, and this is all I'm talking about, that when we talk about what Trump is talking about, this is why you know he has to be, he knows he's more than just the president of the U.S. Okay? Because in these wars against Spain is how they acquired much of this land. But first, Mexico, there was an independence part between many of these countries with Spain that was weakened through the process of fighting with the Portuguese, with the Spaniards, and the U.S. Two sides of the same coin, because Spain was mostly Catholic, the United States was mostly Protestant. Okay? But then at the same time, you have the people saying that we are Jacob, we must destroy East, we must put we must rule over you because we're Jacob and Esau is the younger. Okay? Well, let them say what they want. We know that they're the Edomites, but the Most High going to reveal these things because it was a black God who knocked down the temple of David. Okay? All the gods were black. The modified lepers are being taught backwards because they don't want the inheritance to be, they don't want the bread to be taught to the children because they are robbing the Most High's temple with the false Messiah, the one we all understand is called Clarence. That's why I said it's funny how when I learned about Nganganwala, Nganga literally means priest or gang. See, and they've been, they've been hiding this concept. So that's why when I was talking, why do you think the judge can also have marriage capabilities as a pastor? Because they have been playing you. The church and the court are the same. Okay? If you think I'm lying to you, why do you think no one, when you look at the sovereignty of the Vatican area, why is that area untouchable to anyone, even the police officers of Italy? Because they know here is the same concept that this man they now call the Pope. He is a judge, jury, and executioner. How do we understand it? Because they're still talking about excommunication, about crimes and how they try things, about how you go before these cardinals and all these different things. It's the same. But outside of the Vatican, it's now split between the court and the church. This is the deception. And then, I was talking earlier about this deception about when the schism took place. Okay, so you have the Catholic Church schism, 1054, Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox. You thought it went back further. No. Okay? This is the hustle. This is the lie. And at this time, we're on the Julian calendar, and Christmas is in the spring. You people don't know how bamboozled you are. It didn't switch until till December until after they created the Gregorian calendar, but it was outlawed by King James until the 1800s when they brought it back for one specific reason and one for specific reason only is to interfere with the chosen. They needed to make sure we never learn not to be a hypocrite. Those who are chosen. That's why Tatan Zombie says, and then it says, when you go, it's going to tell you in 1965, they nullified it. Well, it's a lie because in 1965, the Most High knows it, and everybody who knows the real truth knows that this man, Simon Toko, which means male child or seed sower male child, or can also mean bridegroom because in our language we have different meanings. He took over the papacy in 1949. That's why they wouldn't read the Third Secret of Fatima when Lucia gave it to the Pope. This is why we know they hustled us through the secret societies. This whole 400 years is garbage. It's a trance. Because for one, all of the Most High slavery started in South America first and the Caribbean after they broke apart Congo de Totala, which at that time was Sansa. That's why you have the two. And you see now they brought us into Central and South America, and that's why you now have those places set up even before, okay, even before 1619. Because Spain was already over here, Portugal was over here. The Moors don't understand what's going on because they played their part too. because they know the people who speak Congolo is the language that they now understand that they mock and use against us. Okay? Now, when Kimbangu was prophesying, you have to remember he was teaching the reversal of the Renaissance period when he said white should become black and black should become white because that's what transpired with Rome. They turned everything that was black into white by teaching the curse of Cain and Nimrod and Esau and many others backwards, so that the Banabetu of Isolinde would blaspheme the Father, blaspheme the Son, and blaspheme the Holy Spirit, which was the intention of like the days of Noah. Because that's what transpired with many of the offspring of Yeledi, Jared, when they mixed with Cain. Okay? So that just like there would be no salvation for the animals, there would be no salvation for those who are chosen. This was the plan. That's why they created all these rules in the 1700s that would then determine how the church would function after they created the secret society organization now you call Freemasonry. Okay? And we can go to this chart and I can show you. All right. These are all the people involved in the formations of the different versions of the religions you now operate under. And Martin Luther was not the original Protestant, but he hijacked it when we explained it to him that Rome cannot do indulgences and say, oh, yeah, you can get into the heaven. But they didn't change anything. It just became tithes and offering when they became the Protestant. And then, of course, when you see the Catholic Church, they're saying the founding of the church started with this man, when the founding of the church started with Abana, Abraham. And it was our job to keep it until the temple could become spiritual. But we let it be defiled with the imposters that we let come into our it isn't just the Sanhedrin or the converted Phoenicians, is also the Romans and Greeks and others. Okay? All right. And so this is why this whole thing was this was concocted by Rome when they knew the church that's when they started it. The Most High started it before the Messiah came as the promise. Then the Messiah fulfilled it. That's all he did. Okay? So now, when we talk about people being called kings and queens, this can only be instigated by the kingdom itself. You cannot, when people say, oh, I'm a king, I'm a queen, that's something that has to be ordained by the kingdom that's not hypocrisy, not the one that is, no matter what color. Okay? This is when people are going to find out how played they really are. You cannot be a king and queen worshiping Egyptian gods against the Father's kingdom, that he hates that stuff. That's why he does not see any of the idols that these people operate under. But when you think they're real and you actually accept it, they become your reality when the Father does not pay attention to any of it. So what is real to him? So if you want to see the world that's real, you have to see it the way the Father sees the world, which is what the Holy Spirit is about, and not the way these pastors or whatever leaders you want to talk to, what they tell you. Okay? Because once you keep believing what they say, then you live in the false reality of what you don't understand is a delusion, a holographic thing. Okay? That's what the strong delusion is meaning. You will see the world that I don't see versus the world that is. Okay? The creation. And that's what the Maya Mourner means, or one who has spiritual eyes to see, is they can see. This is why when we're growing up, we were questioning things that didn't make sense. But they were trying to convince us, no, it's just your imagination. No, it's just, you need to this is what they really created psychiatrists for. Because the more you could see their lie, the more they want to make you think you're crazy. So they have to shut people like that down, okay? And make excuses for what people see. Oh yeah, you hear voices, you see schizophrenia. That's not always the case. They did the whole system of the medical industry and everything was devised by Lucifer so you would not see the wizard. That's playing both sides. You would just go along and you'd be the straw man with no brain. You start thinking, now you're crazy. Now you're stupid. Now you're wicked. Now you're demonic, which is exactly what the sorcerer I talked about in the other book they took out was telling people that could see him. Okay? And they devised medical attention for this purpose because they know they were telling you your problem, what was causing it, and the solution was all done by the people who were playing both sides. Okay? Because they wanted you to stay away from them so they could continue to operate under the system of taking advantage of people and keeping people in debt, not realizing you're playing in your dog vomit and loving it. Just going along with the flow. Yeah, let me go find a job. The Most High always gives people jobs. Oh, let me go do this, let me go do that. You already have it. And that's why the people who don't get, oh, let me go fight for my country, there's no such thing as countries. This is the way the devil continues to play the whole world. Because the Father has one nation. Lucifer is the one that has taken his nation and made it into multiple different forms of countries to do this on purpose to mess up the 70 tribes that they lied about, which is why you don't hear about them in the book of Jasher, because it talks about them in there, the 72 languages. And that's why it makes me so frustrated when you hear people come along and say, well, I have this ability, I do this, I do that, and they don't even speak the 70 languages that the Most High taught yourself you. That's why he said it's not time yet, because very soon the Most High will rectify this and the pure language will come and we will know because they want you to say the pure language. See, it's funny how they say the pure language is Yiddish, then why don't the English speaking people speak Yiddish? They said, oh, but this is God's language. So why did they teach you how to speak it? When you were in school, why were you not speaking Yiddish? Why are you speaking English? Why are you speaking Latin? Why are you speaking French? Why are you speaking Portuguese? Why are you speaking all these other languages if they know to be the Most High's chosen as a Christian, as a Muslim, as Judaism? Why do you now speak different languages? If they are telling you, well, the Most High's language is Yiddish, then why are you speaking English then? Okay? This is how people is like, man, come on. You got to start thinking, man. But you're designed not to. See? And all of these people saw some kind of an angel. Guarantee you. And it ain't the one you think. Especially this one here. People are going to find out that when they see the Church of Satan and the church that's been collected by Rome are two sides of the same coin, they're going to lose it. But they ain't going to believe you. Okay? Because the point is, you cannot mix the pagan and non-pagan together. You automatically default to Lucifer. You cannot do both. Okay? So now when we look at the scriptures as how this says, we talk about the Balfour Declaration, 1917. Why is that important? Because that's when the salvation was here for those who would receive the truth. That's the problem. They were already convincing you with the churches that you had, that you were attending, you were receiving salvation when you were receiving damnation. Because you were teaching the people to break the Father's law. You were teaching people that I'm safe, so now I can just do however, no, you got to do what the Most High says. This is why they taught you how to be in hypocrisy. So now, when the salvation of getting you out of the hypocrisy was beginning to manifest, this was a problem for those who were robbing the Most High's temple. Because in order to rob the Most High's temple, they got to keep the Most High's temple in hypocrisy. How did they do that? Sacrifice unto idols, just like what the scriptures talk about. If you're eating with sacrifice unto idols, it's going to what? Ruin your temple. So then the blind, you won't see anymore with your spiritual eyes. That's why they are against this whole concept of now purification from any, because when you're chosen, you purify, you're going to see things differently. Like why you shouldn't have put tattoos on your body. You should have never done that. Okay? Or why you shouldn't wear your hair a certain way or bleach it or plumb it or do these different things. Because that's all why they set up these people in front of you to be a copycat. Clothes, entertainment, the way you see business, everything that you do, it was done as a copycat to be about the business of the imposter, not the Most High's business. See, the Most High's business is way different than the way the world has been pushing the objective with those wearing their long robes. Okay? You are you are you are surrounded by people really practicing Judaism, masquerading as the Most High's way through the three frogs. They just call it by different names. Okay? The Christians are really already being scapegoated to be the stumbling block to the people who need to eat bread. But then when you tell them that, oh no, I know, because that's the concept. When you are already locked into the false God through the time you're a child until the time you're an adult, you're not going to see that you were made a hypocrite on purpose through spell casting. And that's why when you recognize it, they want to neutralize you. Okay? So now, even the person who started this whole thing is an atheist. So then, how are you going to get the Most High's promise if you are an atheist, if you're practicing devil worship? Okay, if you know you are actually scapegoats that the Most High don't even accept, and they already know that, but they're gonna act like He does. All right, but that's why they gave you another Messiah that did not get preached, so that either way you go, you got it backwards. So then that's why when we go to how they, brought out this um, recreation of many a different of the true ways of the things went down, you say, well, as a Christian, I'm not going to accept this because that's not what I was taught as a child. So it's got to be Lucifer. That's the whole concept. If you now actually show people the truth and expose the lies, this is the real supper here, how it went down. Okay? Now you have to now say, well, that means if these people were melanated, because there were white people among them, but if these people were melanated, then that means we are the curse. That means if the Most High, so then where do we fit in? Because it goes the opposite. We were like, where do we fit in as the darkest skin race? If God is white, Jesus is white, this type of stuff, how do we fit into this? Oh, God, yeah, you'll be okay. But it's like, then there's many people who don't believe. It's like, no, can black people really be saved? So then you have all these stereotypes that developed out of an image change. So it's like now, as the white race, we must save everybody when they can't because they are hypocrites themselves. Now, does it mean other races aren't hypocrites? I didn't say that. Or other places. That's why they even created the whole race war. That's why they created race in the first place because they knew it's not about image, but race. It's about bloodline. Who has the promise? Who didn't? Who got the promise? Who didn't? Okay. So now when you look, this is even the image of the one they put in Kenya. This is from the bottom. They know that this is what the Most High looked like. They know that this is what the Messiah looks like. But this is now a problem to those who are supposed to be what? Dominion, dominant, images. How you see things is imperative to how you receive the world and what they teach you. You just follow along. They had the herd mentality going for generations. You just keep going along with these traditions that we've given you, and all the traditions are making the law of no effect, going all the way back to before the real Messiah and after. That's why he said it. You obey the Spirit, you obey the law, then you don't have to worry about the traditions because the Holy Spirit will keep you in line with what the Most High wants. This is why they had to get you attached to the sorcerer, because the devil don't want to bow down to flesh. Never. He don't want nobody controlling him. This is why they took out the scriptures where he got mad when he had to do things. Then he want to turn around and make you do something. Okay? But Masinisi said, no, you're not going to get me to do anything that I'm not supposed to. I'm not going to disobey the Father up until he finished his job, because that's when he commended his spirit. It was really to say, I have finished my job. And the Father is pleased because I never at one time did anything as an embassy, as a messenger, as a maleki, as a Congo that came down. I did not do anything that my Father was displeased with. And that's why he said that now we live in a system where you're always you're conditioned to keep the Father displeased, but thinking that you're having that he's pleased. And that's why it was foolish for us to once again argue about the spiritual temple versus the physical temple because of these false spirits. And now the world wants to go into a building instead of being the building. And this is the whole indoctrination, deception of Cain thinking. Okay? That's why when you read the Most High's structure, scripts about, well, the Most High don't dwell in the buildings made of wood and stone. He dwells in the body. But he cannot dwell in a body that's not chosen. No, he can only dwell in the body that's chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. He can only manifest in those that are loved, not those who have been spit out. Okay? And this is where the world's going to start to understand you had an opportunity to stay away from those who they know they have been spit out because they are intentionally being hypocrites. That's why they do the most wickedest things, and you're now learning about it, and you're like, wow, because why? You were conditioned to love Esau and hate Jacob while thinking the opposite. Yakubi. This is the problem. Because Esau's playing both sides, his false gods are playing both sides, even now. and you are believing everything they tell you that they know they've made it up. Okay? And they know it. So then when we come to, and that's why now the time that we're in as we speak, all praises to the zombie, is that we as a people, the whole concept is of course um deprogramming because it is a program. See, many people don't want to accept that they're under a program when they are because they're working for the benefit of those who don't even care about them, but they act like they do. They're working for those who benefit for themselves, not the Father. Okay, that worship the creation, not the creator. So then all of these things is happening, sexual immorality, drug use, parents can't keeping their house in order, working so hard, the jobs are nearly making you drop, stress, depression, anxiety, all of these things are happening and having to figure things out when the Father can give you what you need is all tied to what is your agenda? What is your heart? What is your mindset? What are you thinking about? Like I told you, if they're stealing from him, they're stealing from the chosen too. So when he says, you robbed me and this whole nation. Everybody who goes to church or who goes to the mosque, they're thinking that they are giving to the God of the truth when they're giving to the God who's a hypocrite. But they made it look good. All the diseases, the sicknesses, everything that people are going through. Oh, they do kindness and everything. They pick these people for a reason because you're not supposed to need a doctor. And at the same time, when you fight wars with the Most High, you do not get injured. You come back in one piece. And they know this because his protection makes you invincible to your enemies because he is invincible. The only time his nation fell apart in war was when his back was turned to them. And that's what the objective always is. You get the Most High's back to be turned to them, we can take them out. And that's why they want to go through people. If you're not able to get to you directly, they're going to try to find. That's why they had to set you up with people who are naive, that they're teaching you to break the Father's law, statutes, and commandments. That's why when you look at what it says at the Revelation at the bottom, this is how they know they played you, because it says that which keep the commandments of the Infumu and have the testament of the Messiah. You are not testifying for the real Messiah if you are deliberately or you are conditioned to not keep the commandments. It doesn't matter. I don't care what the Hebrew Israelites say. I don't care what the church says. I don't care what Islam says. Nobody has the right calendar unless you talk to the Most High. See, even now there's a feast day coming up. You got it backwards. It's supposed to be in the other's time frame. It's supposed to be going into what they call the month of September and stuff. You doing it in the fall, the wrong side. Everything is backwards. The spring of the southern hemisphere is what the Most High's New Year was. And then everything is based off of that. But oh no, we don't want to believe that. Because you are conditioned to see two different realities, but you only see the one. The one that the Father does not see. So when they tell you, oh yeah, these things are extinct, that, that's why he said, do I do what men say or do I do what the Most High says? I will do what the Most High says. And see, that's why now they had to make a reality or a system that was meant to keep you doing what you want, not what the Most High want. You pray every day, you talk about talking to God. How can you be talking to the Most High if you are a hypocrite? Those, it says, if you take the ear from hearing the law, your prayer is an abomination. But there are those who are telling you, we are following the law. We are doing the Most High statutes and commandments. We are walking in righteousness when they are teaching people to walk in hypocrisy. It's a lie because we always want to idolize the flesh, the creation first, and then the creator. And this is how it really, you got it all backwards. You operate, you you idolize the Father first, then everything falls into place. And that's where so many people can stand up there in front of you talking about being one Mayamona or one Messiah-like person or one when everybody on the list is the same. You don't get it, okay? And this is how people keep falling for the hustle. This is it. Because you're letting people convince you there's something that they're not. If you don't test the spirit or they themselves go against the Most High and do it their way, they're always going to have a problem. Okay? You know, I can testify from something that happened to me yesterday. It's obvious that people see me differently, and I know why they're trying to eliminate the threat. Because they know everything the Most High can give you as a parent, just like your own parents. When you reflect what they do for you when you're a child, the Most High operates in the same fashion. That's why the Messiah, like I said, you don't even have to worry about what you wear, what you will do, what you will eat, because the Holy Spirit will lead you to what you need to eat, what you need to wear, and everything you need to do so that you are in obedience to the Father. See, this is what makes me kind of chuckle because here you have a man, he walked around in a suit. He wasn't wearing fringes. He wasn't having even a beard, like many of these people want to sit there and point out. And yet, this man was raising people from the dead. And yet, this man was literally multiplying bread, changing water into wine, was doing all of these things, and was having a conversation with the creation. Why do you think they don't want you to know how this works? Okay? This is what people don't understand. The Pharisees, Sadducees, scribes, and hypocrites will have you convinced that they have it right when they can't even manifest the full power. You have people want to talk about a Moses figure. Can't even divide the water. How you going to do that? Can't even walk on top of it. Hello? Can multiply the bread? Like for real? Where you just take the two loaves of bread and you play over it, boom, multiply. Don't got to worry about going back to the store. You know, even when I had my food there and I bought it, I felt like it was going to run out. And for some reason, it felt like it wasn't running out. It was weird. Okay. It was kind of weird. But that's what I'm trying to tell people is don't ever assume somebody is chosen just because they say so. I'm not even going to talk about where I am with that because the Most High has to give you the seal himself. The Maliki Kong will have to seal you. You have to know who you follow. That's why the Father's out here watching the people who want to put spells on those who are doing their best not to hustle his people. And it's gonna have an impact. The more you want to hustle, It don't matter if you don't think you're running a hustle. It's what the Most High thinks. If the Most High think you're running a hustle, He gonna make you pay for it. And then you want to come back and attack people, and hit Most High say, they didn't even do nothing. It was me. I'm the one that did this, and you attacking the wrong person. I'm the one that said this, and you attacking the wrong person because you're not listening. Many people aren't listening, even when he has to grab my attention. Are you listening? Wikichila. Okay? Now the world is going to have see, the reason why people are tripping out right now is because now the Most High getting the world undivided attention with everything you see Donald Trump is doing. What the heck's going on here? Yeah, because you were too busy with your head in the sand or up your booty. Now you're trying to figure out what the heck's going on because we try to tell you this. Everybody is now under one false god religion, and it's going into effect in February. They started it February 2nd, 2022. Now we're going into the third iteration. 3 years later, here we go. The month of February is going to usher in what we told you you fell for, Chrislam, where everybody's now going to realize you got played. This is where we're going to see the Most High really separating sheep from goats, and you still have people trying to want to make people go against the Most High law, statutes, and commandments when he don't even know who's going to get the pardon and who isn't. Or they out here pardoning, like it says, oh, they out here pardoning people who are still criminals to me. Oh, okay, I got them. I watch. I'm a pardon people that they think are still criminals to them, to me. They play that game. Oh, okay, you out here pardoning your own, these hypocrites that I know that they're not mine. Okay, I got you. I can pardon them too. Because that's the reality is the Most High can choose to pardon whoever he wishes when it comes to who no longer sins against him and who does. And he says, how can a hypocrite decide this if they themselves are against me? And this is what the world going to start come to the realization. A hypocrite cannot pardon anybody. Only the one who's non-hypocrite can do that. And so many people are going to find out, oh, we received the salvation. You cannot receive salvation from the hypocrite. No way. Not possible. Okay? So now, as we're moving forward, we know, okay, I'm going to take you to Revelation. I'm telling you right now, we heading into this portion, more of this right here, Revelation 13, okay? Because this has happened, okay? Because the mark that you have to buy and sell with is Cain. This is the mark, Cain's mark, okay? The mammon spirit, okay? But then they don't tell you that there was an option for us. See, it says here, and look, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Sioni, and with him. So here we go. This is why you got all these imposters trying to infiltrate where the real Mount Sinai is and acting like, oh yeah, I'm the lamb, I'm the most high, I'm the Messiah. Bull crap. Because the real Messiah gonna show up and say, he's gonna say with him 144,000 having his father's name written on their foreheads. Okay? This is what they're trying to stop. These are they which were not defiled by woman, or for they are virgins. And what you're gonna find out is for the people who tried their best to mess these people up, the Most High can reset it. He can reset it because it's going back to many people like about for 1984 deception and what they did after that. Okay? And this is what he says, in their mouth were found none God, for they without fault before the throne. So that's what I'm saying. If you are without fault before the throne, then you don't have nothing to worry about. If you are found with fault before the throne, you're in trouble. Okay? And the falling of the angel, Babel is fallen the great city, which she made all the nations of the wine drink with the wrath of fornication. And that's all the witch Lily and the deceiver. And it says, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured without without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire, brimstone, in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. Okay? So those who are sealed by the Most High are not tormented. Those who are not, you are tormented. And this is what's going to really happen is many people think that they have received the real Messiah and they have received the imposter. Because the Most High going to reset everything the back where they should be. And that's why when we talk about this part, um, they shall make war with the Lamb. Who shall make war with the Lamb? All those who serve the hypocritical kingdom will make war against the kingdom that is not a hypocrite. That's what that means. But the problem is, many people think they're fighting on the side of the Lamb who is not a hypocrite when they are fighting on the side of the Lamb who is. This is the problem. Okay? And the 10 horns which thou saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So the kingdom of Cain will hate Lily. We're there. We're here. Okay? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh. Meaning what? You're consuming the witch, the whore, the demon, the one who was doing. Why are they doing that? Because she was consuming you. Paybacks. Okay? For the Most High has put it in their hearts to do his will and to agree and give the kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled, which we're coming to very closely. That's why people keep bothering me. Oh, is the Most High coming? When is he coming? When he is fulfilled. Okay, we're getting close. They said they almost done years ago. And the which that saw is the great city that reigneth over the kings of the earth. The city is more than just a physical city. The city is also a spiritual city. Okay? There's a spiritual city and there's a physical city. The spiritual city, they showed it to you in a planet full of cities, nothing but cities. The whole planet is a city. Okay? Full of all. Somebody even said they had a vision where they went and they saw the dogs and everything, the mechanic. Yes, they have this. Okay? So now the Most High got to put an end to all of this. You're not taught this, people, because the only people that can come out of the whore are the ones who are meant to know the truth and to live by the way the Most High is expecting us. That's why you have to go back into the Old Testament where he's talking about the shepherds that feed themselves must now be dealt with, who did not feed the flock. Okay? Like I said, if you are one of the people who will be blameless before the Father, you will rule over those who will be found not blameless. So many people have been conditioned to assume they are going to be found blameless. You cannot be found blameless if you're not chosen by the non-hypocritical God. No way. But and at the same time, you cannot return evil for evil or do anything against the temple that the Most High don't like. That's why it's a struggle for us in the world where we're surrounded by the dog vomit people with ignorance, just doing whatever they want and don't get that everything must be according to the Most High's way. So then anyone who comes to warn you, now they want to get rid of you. Now you're ruining everything. Now you're messing up the hustle, the scam. Why? Because no city, the whore city is tied to all cities. There's a city that she lives in, and it's a spider web to all the rest of them. And they're all going to be destroyed with her city. That's why we hear Donald Trump said, you have no idea, I'm going to stop World War III. Donald Trump cannot stop Tatanzam. Cain is still delusional. Cain cannot stop the Most High. It will not happen. Because like it says, when he starts talking about, I'm going to bring peace, now sudden destruction going to come upon you out of nowhere. Ooh, what the heck just happened? That's the next phase. The more they promote that they're going to bring peace to the world, the Most High going to show them a hypocrite cannot bring peace but a sword. No way. Okay? All right, I'm going to end there. All praises, Kemba, hallelujah, Tatanzami and Pungu. And like I said, if the Most High tells you to go places and do things, then you do it. But remember, if the Most High ain't in it, you're gonna be messed up. You're gonna be dealing with. And yes, there's still people trying to steal and rob from the temple, and they're lying about it. They're still out there, many of them, and they're putting on all these. Oh yeah, come honor this person. Oh, come do this. The one you need to be focused on right now is the one who purged the temple before. If you're not focused on him, good luck. The one because he coming to purge and deal with all of the people who are benefiting their own pockets, okay, and not doing the way the Most High wants it done, but how they want to do it. And they're going to always have a problem with that. You do it your own way, the Most High going to say, fine, then you and Lucifer are homies. Okay? Do we struggle in this time? Yes, we do. But the one thing the Most High is saying is, my job is to show you you've been played. Did I not do that? If I didn't do it, then I'm going to be held accountable for that. And no, my news is not always good. It's not supposed to be. Because if you're worshiping the devil, you're not going to like what I have to say. If you're convinced you're not worshiping the devil, you're definitely not going to like what I have to say. Oh no, that guy's crazy. He's stupid. He don't know what he's talking about. He's delusional. I have my own sister was like, hey, I love how the Most High uses family. She said, even and see, my own father, he prayed to say, I hope you're right. He prayed for me. This is how you know. But then you have all these other people out here. Oh no, this guy don't know what he's talking about, la la la. Okay? They themselves don't understand. Many people know things, but they're not going to tell you because they benefit from you not knowing. This is how it really works. When you don't know, you're benefiting the people who do know. The Most High is like, that's idiocracy. Okay? This is the stupidity of it all. You need the knowledge to get away from the liars. and to expose the deceptions around you. How can you discern anything without the knowledge of how to do it? How can you discern anything if you're blind leading the blind? How can you discern anything if you are still working for the hypocrite, no matter what color he is? I told people the dog God can make you think that you're not working for him when you are, no matter what. In your own mind, in your own, when you're puffed up with your own knowledge and you're wise in your own eyes, you're working for the dog God, for the imposter. This is how it really is. When you think you know it all, or you think you have the knowledge and you can break it all down and you have all these things you can talk about it, you are not always doing it the Most High's way. You are still working for the imposter. Because, like I said, the Most High don't need to borrow nothing from the dog god, from the goat god, or none of these false gods, or the cow god, or whatever the heck. He's like he has his own bank. He has his own wealth. He has his own kingdom. He has everything he needs, and he knows how to make things grow when you need it, and he knows how to make food come to you when you need it. Why do you think they don't want to tell you that Mikaeli brought wine to Yakubi when he blessed to Isaka, Isaac, when he blessed his son and Esau was mad? Wine was brought from heaven to celebrate that he would be the head of the temple. This is the jealousy of Eswe, who felt he has been scammed from his own brother. And even Toko took care of it, but he don't care. He's like, I'm still going to get you. And this is the problem we always dealing with. He don't care. And he's always known you were coming. That's why he's trying to stop it. And he using all of his agents and everybody he can to run interference and to do what he needs to do to make you look bad and to continue to have you do things that offend the Father while thinking that you're not. Because those who have a crown already will always be threatened by those who have not received it. Or those who have a crown, Lucifer will make you go against each other so that you lose your crown. Or go lower with your crown and not be as high. And this is the whole concept. You want to be above the angels, not underneath them. Always. You want to be above the angels, not beneath them. This is how you've been continuing to get played. All right? All praises. Kimber, hallelujah. Again, I went a little too long. I didn't intend to. But yeah, we're here. They're not going to tell you. I went to talk about this. I did it earlier. The Congo situation is because the Most High is manifesting. I told you, when the Most High does things, they're going to give you a false narrative. The Most High is in the works right now, fulfilling what Toko and Kimbangu said, both of them, that all of the cities in Luanda and everything is going to soon be aflame and a fire. You see Mozambique, you see what's going on in Africa right now. Many things will be unstable. Now that you see, we're keeping aid away from these countries, they're going to fall into disarray because they're broke already. They don't have any money. Their money is worthless. They get everything as handouts from those who have it. This is the problem. The stinginess of the one who hands it out is now being more stingy. I'm going to take care of me, but the Most High ain't like that. I'm telling you, the Most High is not like that. He is not stingy at all. He wants to give it out, but he's not going to give it out to people who bow down to idols and teach his children to do the same. No. Oh, but I got my 5 cars. I got my nice house. I got this. you gonna be hurting now because, like he said, it's easier for the person who is not materialistic than the one who is materialistic to get into the kingdom. Because that's the type of wealth we're talking about. You're more focused on the things that the thief can steal than the things than the place where the thief cannot steal. Laying your treasures up in the kingdom, nobody can steal it from the Most High. There. They can only rob the physical area down here, not in the kingdom. So therefore, your treasures are waiting for you when you receive them, when you are done with your work. But like I said, the Most High give you everything you need while you're working. I said that's why I try to tell people, how is it that you cannot tell that when a person is paid to do a job, you provide when you go to work, okay, and you need to go do a job and they have it laid out for you, do they not already have the material you need? And then if you need anything, you say, okay, well, I'm missing. Okay, then they say, well, we'll get it for you. Does that come out of your pocket? No. And this is the problem. The Most High lays out your work for you. He can give you everything you need. You say, well, Father, uh, okay, I'll get it for you. Do you pay for it? He pay for it. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a sad day for a lot of people. And he even know what you're going to ask before you even ask it, so it's already there. That's the whole point. Sen wizi mi kwizi du uyave nu kembelela onkunga wa mu wa nu bungila na yinkama muyimbila ikunda kyanda wa na zingulu kanga setwendi kuzoni kumosi tu kwenda mbanza nina wete mbanza velela atantu awosona umbulu batungama oyena landu mfumu endinga senu zangula na wangani sowa oyese yumala setwendi kujoni kumosi tu kwenda mbanza nina wete mbanza velela Mansanga menowa nutomo kungula empasa zoza ziva kuzioni tu salungana esia Emmanuel esina Emmanuel setwendi kuzoni tu mosi tu kwenda mbanza nina wete mbanza velela. It's either Mbanza Congo, Mbanza Davidi, Mbanza Salama, or it's Mbanza Lucifer. Okay? There's no in between. And if you're going to keep thinking that your communities can fix problems when all of your politicians are designed to work for the hypocrite and not the hypocrite, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Your politicians could never be paid and work for the God who's not a hypocrite. It's a lie. None of these people are getting, they're all giving the storehouse, they're all given to the storehouse of Esau the God of Esau and not the God of Jacob. But you're meant to believe the opposite. It's a deception. You are being robbed by the people who control them, the puppets. They are talking heads. All the banks are run by Lucifer. And you're going to find this out because the Most High don't like interest. He don't like tax. He don't like any of these things, but they convince you that everything's fine. No, it's not. The Messiah didn't like tax. The Most High didn't like tax. Okay? The he did not like to see people in debt and usury. No, he did not. They were all against it. But now all of a sudden everything's okay with it and we're good and to go. It's a lie, people. And now people are going to pay for it because you put the children of the Most High in debt for your ignorance to not understand that this is not how it goes. And now it's over because the Most High going to take care of it. You see? All right. Zola Quingi, Nsambulolo, Inowezi, Yabi Kongo Kutwala, Ingeta Salama, Mbanza Salam, Kemba Hallelujah.